Welcome into Mornings with Loretta. Every year, more than 35,000 men and women are diagnosed with cancer caused by HPV in the United States. And joining us live from St. Jude, our most coveted hospital, children's hospital in the world, is Dr. Heather Brandt with us. So, Dr. Brandt, tell us a little about HPV and HPV vaccinations and what are the benefits to receiving it? Because there's a lot of controversy, and I think it's because we just don't understand.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity here to talk about HPV. So HPV stands for human papillomavirus, and HPV is very common in the United States. It's so common that 1 in 4 people are currently infected, and nearly everyone will get an HPV infection in their lifetime. But not all of those will turn into HPV cancer, and we don't yet know which ones will and which ones won't. So that's where HPV vaccination comes in. HPV vaccination prevents 90% of HPV cancers and almost all precancers that are caused by HPV. HPV vaccination is definitely cancer prevention. It's safe, it's effective, and it provides long-lasting protection. And this is a vaccination that is preventive, and so it needs to be given to someone before they would be exposed to HPV. And so this is why at St. Jude, of course, our focus is on ensuring that children are vaccinated against HPV to prevent those HPV cancers that they may develop in adulthood.
So I get now, because my next question really was, why is it so important? But it's important because men and women, number one, get it. And that you said all of us at some point may have it at some level. So with going back to school immunization, why aren't these like a required vaccination like the rest of them?
So it's a great question. And there are many factors that go into deciding whether or not a vaccine will be required for school entry. There are a lot of considerations that we won't have time to sort through today. But suffice to say that HPV vaccination is routinely recommended for children in this 9 to 12-year-old age group. And so it should be part of a back to school list for parents and caregivers who make vaccine decisions for their children, along with other vaccines in this same age group, including the vaccine against whooping cough called Tdap, or the vaccine against meningitis. And HPV vaccination can be safely given at the same time as these other vaccines. And here in the state of Tennessee, the vaccine against whooping cough, Tdap, is required, but meningitis vaccine isn't. And so just because a vaccine isn't required for school entry doesn't mean it's unimportant. The CDC, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Cancer Society, and us at St. Jude all strongly recommend these routine vaccinations, including HPV for this age group.
Okay, so real quickly, what are some of the misconceptions or myths surrounding it that's keeping us from doing this for our children? And I would hate, I mean, there's no pity or no sorrow that a parent has who did not choose to get the vaccine and then have their child have to fight against this thing. So what are some of the things that we're missing that we don't understand?
Well, you already touched on one of them. Both men and women, males and females, are affected by HPV. And so therefore, HPV vaccination is for everyone. Some people still think this is only something that affects females or people who have a cervix, and that's not the truth at all. In fact, oral pharyngeal cancers are the most common HPV cancer in the United States, and about 83% of those oral pharyngeal cancer cases are among men. So therefore, HPV vaccination is cancer prevention for everyone, and so everyone should get vaccinated. We also get a lot of questions because of misinformation about the safety of the vaccine, and the vaccine has been around since 2006. So we have more than 17 years of safety data, more than 500 million doses of this vaccine given worldwide. And this vaccine has been shown to be incredibly safe, a very strong safety profile. We also get questions about how well does this vaccine work? So you give it to someone as a child to prevent a cancer when they're an adult. And we have those data now that show us that this vaccine prevents actual cases of cancer. And in fact, in Australia, where HPV vaccination uptake is really high, they're on track to eliminate cervical cancer by the year 2035. So let me say that again. They're on track to eliminate cervical cancer by the year 2035. So imagine the possibilities. Many people know someone affected by oropharyngeal cancer, cervical cancer, one of the other types of HPV cancers, and we can alleviate all of that suffering through HPV vaccination to prevent those HPV cancers. And then lastly, we get questions about when you vaccinate a child so young, does it last? And it does. We know that this vaccine is long lasting, especially when given on time at ages 9 to 12. They have a very robust immune system response. And so that results in a lifetime protection against HPV cancer. So those are just a few that we have time for today. I also think you said something really important leading into this question is the potential for regret. That parents and caregivers of people who are in their 30s and 40s had the opportunity to choose HPV vaccination for their children, probably before someone was exposed. And now they've developed an HPV cancer. So let's take the guesswork out of this. This vaccine is safe. It works really well, and it provides long-lasting protection. This is an easy win for parents and caregivers to protect their children today from these cancers that they can develop in the future. And so that's really our main focus, is helping to build confidence in parents and caregivers so that more parents and caregivers will choose to protect and their children, and all children will be protected.
You did that so eloquently, and I just really wanted to know what were some of the symptoms and of the shot, the vaccine, and then we need more conversations like this, because I want to be like Europe, where I want to get rid of this thing, but we can't get rid of it. And I really believe education is going to be key. It's going to be the missing link. It's going to be what we need to really do this. And so we have to do this show again, is what I'm getting to, Dr. Heather.
Yes. Well, I would be happy to come back and talk in more depth and give some additional examples and, just ways in which we can answer the questions. Parents and caregivers have questions. We want to give them answers.
Right.
We also need healthcare providers. Yeah.
I'm here in Memphis, so I can come to you or you can come to me, but we'll make it again. I want to honor the time. I know you have to go, but thank you so much for coming on. I feel more smart and enlightened. I can make an intelligent decision to help somebody else too with their children, because I have grandchildren. So we're going to make it happen, Dr. Heather. We're going to do this thing.
That sounds great. Thank you so much. I look forward to it.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, so Dr. Heather has to leave, and I want to just tell you that Dr. Heather, PhD, Brant, is a social and behavior scientist and leader in cancer prevention control, primarily in the HPV space. Her research focuses on working with stakeholders to prevent. Prevention is the word. Our children already have enough stuff to deal with, right? They're dealing with stuff that we did not have to deal with growing up. And now this is something that is preventable. I say yay, right? Because I'd rather err on the side of caution and prevention than to say, what if they don't get it and what if they don't have the vaccine and then they still don't get it? Then that's a win. But that's a huge risk. It is a huge risk. So she works at St. Jude. She works at St. Jude, our favorite children's hospital in the world, that's located here and headquartered here in Memphis, Tennessee. Their families receive a bill, They never receive a bill for treatment. And so St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the world, the way the world understands, treats, and cures childhood cancers, sickle cell disease, and other life-threatening disorders. So it's a lot we don't know about St. Jude because we just think so small because of the information we have access to. But let me tell you, go to their website, talk to some of the people that work there. Oh, incredible humans work there, not only in research and in medicine, but just their support staffs too. So just make sure that you learn more about HPV, the vaccine, and the disease, because like she said, It doesn't have to be that way. And how many things do we really control in life, right? We don't, but we can control this. So parents, get the information, make informed decisions.